Okay, how's everybody doing this evening? I want to talk a little bit tonight about EOS's valuations and how people are trying to put some value, some value on the tokens of EOS. And I want to share with you what my thinking on that is. My thinking on that is it's not even possible. There's no way to value EOS at this point. It's unique to the world. There's nothing like that that's ever been launched, and the value of EOS is almost impossible to determine at this point. You can't determine EOS based on assets or based on other valuations of companies and make comparisons at this point because there is nothing to compare it to. It's unique to the world. It's never been launched, and there's nothing like it. There's nothing that's ever been launched like this before. And there's attributes to the decentralized platform, there's attributes to decentralized computing, there's attributes to the blockchain that haven't ever been evaluated before, and there's just no way to really evaluate EOS. Certainly not based on assets or based on real-world assets. You can't value something like EOS. I mean, I read one time that the biggest taxi cab company in the world, Uber, doesn't own a car. The biggest media company in the world, Facebook, doesn't create any content. The biggest retailer in the world, Amazon, doesn't have any stores. And one of the biggest companies in the world, Google, has very few assets. Google doesn't have real-world assets. They don't own buildings. They don't own factories. They don't own railways. They don't own airlines or airports or anything like that. They're a software company. And right now, that's the companies that are worth the most amount of money. And that's the companies making the most amount of money are software companies that interface with the public. And when they interface with business and with people, those are companies that the values are hard to calculate because you just don't know how they're going to be valued in the future. Because you don't know how much business they're going to do, and you don't know how the different ways people are going to use this. And this is what I keep talking about. EOS doesn't really have a value right now, and I would dare anybody not to buy EOS at these values at this point, based on the fact that it has yet to launch, and we don't know what exactly is going to be built on this platform. And we don't know how many different ways this platform is going to be used. All we know is it's unique, it's never been seen before, and there's a tremendous amount of hidden valuation in this as far as how it's going to play out in the universe once this thing gets launched. The only way you can really kind of put your mind around EOS is to look at Steemit, BitShares, and Ethereum. And if you think that EOS isn't going to launch in the way that they say it's going to launch, just look at Steemit. I mean, you can see the blocks being built. You can see the platform operating. You can see the decentralization of it. You can see all this stuff going on. DTube, another good example. How it's not being censored in any way. All these things are going on. So there's no way to value EOS. I mean, the only way to really value EOS, I think the best video on valuing EOS is the guy that does the video about the remote viewing, who sees it at $250 in September. I mean, that's the best you can do right now to value EOS. $250 remote viewing in September. That's the best you can do. But if you think it's not going to launch, if you think it's not going to scale, if you think it's not going to be productive, if you think it's not going to be decentralized, or you think it's not going to be used, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. And sit on the sidelines and don't buy it. I don't think you should be involved. I mean, I dare you not to buy it. I dare you not to buy it if you believe that none of that stuff's going to happen. If you believe it's going to happen, and you believe this is a platform that could possibly change everything, it has all these attributes that never has happened before, never have been tried or never been tested before, then I think this is a perfect opportunity to buy it. It's still below 20 bucks, I think. So I dare you not to buy it if you don't believe any of this stuff is going to happen, or you don't believe this is something that could really change the world. I happen to believe it will change the world, and I happen to believe it's going to be a lot higher, and I happen to believe the valuations right now are very low on something that has this potential, this kind of potential. There's no way I can really get you to wrap your mind around, you know, how this could possibly play out in the world, unless you actually kind of think about it a little bit. You have to kind of really think about it. I mean, I can give you scenarios. I can give you scenarios like a Uber driver that now has his own profile on the internet, where now he doesn't go through Uber anymore. He actually just has his own profile you can see, and you can actually schedule somebody to pick you up by looking at his own Uber or own profile on the internet. I heard one of the other videos talk about that. Somebody was in South America. They're talking about how they kept talking to other people down there, and they're saying, you know, hey, you know, here's an opportunity for you to actually be your own business on the internet instead of going through a centralized Uber system. Not to mention about all the different currencies and problems in the world with currencies, and how currencies don't equal other currencies, and how some countries really have a really poor way of transferring money back and forth, and a really poor way of holding money because their currencies don't have any value, or they devalue. They're continually being inflated, so where your money has very little value. So all this can be remedied, can be done, can be changed with a platform like EOS. So I would challenge anybody right now not to buy EOS. Don't buy it. Don't buy it at these valuations. Don't try it. Don't even go there. Because if you don't believe any of this stuff I'm saying, then there's no reason to even think about it, and move on to your next coin deal, your next ICO. Not to mention the fact ICOs are going to run on EOS. This is going to be a way to raise money for business. You can go to the banks, you can play all that red tape game, or you can set up an ICO, or you can set up smart contracts, put everything in code, and lay out exactly what you want to do and how you want to do it, and then let people make their own decision whether they want to buy into what you're doing, or they want to buy your token. But you can have it all laid out on the smart contract on a decentralized platform that is completely decentralized, without anybody taking a piece of your idea or telling you can't do it because of some law, or some security law, or something like that, some governmental organization telling you can't do something like that. Come on. I mean, the opportunity is available, and we should use it. And the idea is available, and we should take advantage of it. And it's going to go into operation very soon, very quickly. So I think this is a perfect time to get involved. I've been saying that for a while. I've been saying that for a couple of months now. And I don't see valuations changing for going down anytime soon. I see nothing but upward for this because I see there's so much potential here, so much uniqueness, so much value to what they're doing. And the thing about it is in this world of digital world, the world of cryptocurrency, the world of Bitcoin, well, people are moving away from real world assets. They're moving more to digital assets. So if you want to stay in the real world game, think of a company like Ford. Ford made cars for over 100 years, 110 years. They're not going to make cars anymore, except for the Mustang and I think another one. Everything else they're quitting, they're stopping. And Ford's been very forward-thinking in the way they run their business. They were the only car company that came out of the crisis in 2008 and were able to survive, and became the biggest only car company in the United States that didn't need a bailout. Everybody else was in trouble, needed a bail. Ford had a forward-thinking plan, and I think now they have a forward-thinking plan now by getting out of making cars. They're trying to get away from making cars because they're losing money making cars. They wouldn't stop making cars if they were making money. So digital assets are the only assets to have in this new world. Interfaces with people is the only way to do it. Have an interface, a platform, software that interfaces with people, businesses, that does business online, that creates digital assets online and is able to transfer wealth, transfer ideas, and transfer content online. That's the only thing that works today. That's the way you make money in today's world. You don't make money in real world assets by making cars, as proven by Ford, who's getting out of the car business after 110 years. So you could think about it in real world assets, or you could think about it in digital assets, and think about what platforms are going to be used in the future. And EOS is a platform that's going to be used in the future by a lot of businesses, by a lot of people. And it's going to be used very, 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 used a lot. So anyway, I dare you not to buy it at these prices. If you don't think it's going to work, just don't buy it. Just walk away. Just look at it as something that's just is overvalued. It's way overvalued, and I don't want to touch it because they haven't started. You know, the platform hasn't launched yet. So I'm not going to get involved because it hasn't launched, and I think it's overvalued. If you think that way, I dare you not to buy it. Just don't buy it. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much.